Hi, I'm Steve Krentz for Gibson's Learn and Master Guitar, and welcome to this month's video tip. You know, an electric guitar can get an amazing array of sounds through the use of various guitar effect pedals. And today we're going to look at just the basic types of guitar effects, what they should sound like, and how you should connect them together. Now, there are countless types and styles of guitar pedals, and many times a new player just may not know where to start. So I wanted to give you a basic rundown of the 3 pedals that I think you should consider getting to really start you out on your journey with all of these. The distortion pedal, the chorus pedal, and the delay pedal. Let's first talk for a second about distortion pedals. Well, a distortion pedal, there's really kind of a range of distortion pedals, and you'll hear a lot of these terms floated around. At the beginning of the stage, right after your clean tone, if I add a little bit of breaking up to the sound, similar to what a tube would do, you get into what sounds like an overdrive, an overdriven amp. So they call these types of effects overdrives. If you get a little bit harsher with those, we get into the distortion class of distortion pedals. And if I go way out to the far end of the spectrum, I get into fuzz, which is basically just kind of a square wave of your sound. So we go from your clean sound into a little bit of warmth, in an overdrive pedal, then the distortion class, and then into fuzzes. Now, there's various different types of distortion pedals that I've used over the years. Here's one. This is an Ibanez Tube Screamer, regular old TS9. You can pick this up at most any music store, and that was on my pedal board for years. Another distortion pedal that I used a lot for years is an X Pandora. I love the warmth of this. You can get all kinds of different sounds out of this, and currently I'm using a Visual Sound open road pedal and another pedal to do some of my distortion work. Well, so that's some distortion pedals. Now, the other type of pedal that you should consider when you're just starting out is a chorus pedal. Chorus kind of takes your sound and then adjusts it and makes kind of a swirling sort of a sound with it. It's really pretty on ballads and softer things. We're going to talk about what I've been using here in just a second. The third class of pedals that I want you to know about, or that you should consider getting, is a delay pedal. And I've used a regular old Boss delay for years. It takes your sound and then basically just doubles it. So if I play a note, dot, a delay pedal will go dot, 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 and it adds replications of your sound. So that's basically the different classes of those pedals: the distortion, the chorus, and the delay pedal. Now let's go down to my board and we'll see how all of these work together. Alright, here's my pedal board that I've used for years. Now don't get intimidated by all of the different pedals on it. I've gathered these over the years. I want to mainly focus in on 3 pedals: the overdrive, which is the distortion pedal, this black one, which is a chorus pedal, and then the white one at the end is a delay pedal. So those are the ones we're going to look at. Let's first talk about the distortion pedal. Here's my guitar, clean, nothing's on it. Now let's put my distortion pedal. I'm going to put the drive, which is going to control the amount of distortion in it. I'm just going to put that at 9 o'clock there, and we'll get a little bit of breakup in the sound. Now if I raise that up, if I raise that drive up, it also increases the volume. So sometimes you'll need to kind of back the volume off in order to get an equal sound. Now this is going to be a little bit more distorted as I keep increasing this drive. Now if I take this all the way over to 3 o'clock, it's going to be even more broken up. Now it also has, if I move this back, it also has a tone knob which you can control how sharp, or the EQ. So I raised it up a little bit so it's going to sound a little bit more edgy. When I move that down, it sounds a little bit more muffled. And that's basically how a distortion pedal will work. You'll have a drive, which controls how much the sound is being distorted. Usually you'll have a tone of some sort to control how it sounds, and then an outboard volume to control how much sound is actually going out. Alright, so let's turn that off, and we're going to go to my chorus pedal over here. This is an old chorus pedal, a TC Electronic stereo chorus pedal that I have probably had for 20 years at least. So here's my guitar, again, clean. I'm going to turn my chorus on. Hear how it starts to get this sort of swirling sound going. Now, as I can control how fast it is spinning and the intensity of it. So let's raise up the intensity a little bit. Let's increase the width of the chorus. And I'm going to leave the speed roughly where it is. You hear how now there's much more wobble in the sound between the two different frequencies. And that's basically a chorus pedal will have those three things. You'll be able to control the speed, how fast it's wobbling, the width, which controls how out of tune or whether it's very close to your tune or just a little bit off, and that's what the width is controlling, and then you can also control the intensity. All right, before we go, let's talk about my delay pedal. This is a Boss delay, digital delay, DD3. There are other ones as well. There's a DD5 and a DD6. These are all just types of a good old Boss effect. Boss is one of the companies that has been putting out pedals for years, and they just make great quality, inexpensive pedals. Here's my guitar playing again. When I turn on my delay, it's going to give some repeats to my sound. Do you hear that? Where it's sort of echoing there. I can control how loud that echo is by turning up the effect volume. I can also control, we turn that back down, control how many times it repeats. See how it's repeating a lot of times there. Let me leave the effect level up. And I can control how fast it repeats as well by adjusting this. This is going to be a slow one. And if I shorten it up, it'll be a little bit faster. And those are the three types of pedals, general types of pedals, that you'll need to use on your pedal board. Now, how should they be connected together? Well, generally you want to have your overdrives, your distortions, first in your chain, which this is an overdrive, this is an overdrive as well, and then you go to your chorus type effects, and then as right before your signal goes out to your amp, you want to hit your delays and your reverbs and things like that. So that's basically a rundown of how these three main types of pedals are using on my board. Well, there you go. So with these three types of pedals, you can create an incredible palette of sounds to play in really a variety of styles. So here's what you need to do. If you want to go check these out, take your guitar and go down to your local music store and try out a few of the pedals and discover the sounds that you like. Remember, don't buy more pedal than you need. There's all kinds of pedals, and some folks think they have to buy something really expensive in order to get a good pedal. It's not true at all. Here's a good rule of thumb as well. Buy one pedal at a time. Take it home, learn how it works, learn how it interacts with your sounds and with your guitar. Well, have fun creating some amazing sounds with all of these. And before we go, here's a few last-minute quick announcements. All right, I've got a couple of last-minute announcements for you for this month. You know, we're having our live lesson tonight. That's October 11th from 7 to 8 p.m. Central Time here in the U.S. And we're going to be talking about songwriting with guitar. And I'm very excited about our special guest, Brian White, Grammy-winning singer, songwriter, country artist Brian White. He's had 2 platinum records. He's had 2 gold records. He's had 6 #1 hits. His duet with Shania Twain, the song From This Moment On, maybe you remember hearing that. That went up all the way up to #4 on the Billboard's Hot 100 chart. So he's got some things to say about songwriting and playing guitar. Fantastic, good guitar player and a great friend of mine. Excited to have Brian White with us here for our little live lessons tonight. Also, we're going to be giving away a guitar, and we're also going to be giving away a fantastic Peterson guitar tuner, kind of a strobo stomp guitar tuner. Now, the next live lesson after that is going to be October 18th, and we're just going to have an open talk because we haven't had one of those in a while. Now, also wanted to let you know, we have added onto Gibson.com a whole new area that is called Gibson Skills House. Now, when you go into Gibson Skills House underneath the Lessons tab on Gibson.com, you will find basically what I've been working on for the last 4 or 5 months, which is all of these lessons on various tips and videos that we have put and are going to continue to be updating all the time
on Gibson.com called Gibson Skills House. There's also a section there where we have power workouts, to where you not just learn the skill, but it gives you, it's kind of like our workout time with the course, but you print out the music and then you go ahead and play along with it, meant to be 10-minute power workouts on a bunch of different things. We also have song lessons there that I've done some of the songs, other folks have done some of the songs as well. Great resources, and they're all made available at Gibson.com, and it's called Gibson Skills House, and we have been deeply involved in putting all this stuff together. As we close up, I wanted to also welcome our very first Learn and Master Guitar Club in Pensacola, Florida. Chuck McCullum and I have been going behind the scenes, and we finally put that together. It's called the Pensacola Players, and they are going to meet every Friday, or not every Friday, first Friday of the month. If you are in the Pensacola, Florida area and you'd like to get together with other Learn and Master Guitar students, learn a tune, they're going to have contests and giveaways and fun stuff like that, and just meet and jam with some other guitar players, I would encourage you to check them out. They're on Facebook. If you want to just type into Facebook, Pensacola Players, you'll find them there. All right, as we close out, keep up the practicing. Work on learning how to work with these guitar effects that we talked about in this lesson. Remember, little bits of focused, consistent practice is how progress is made. It's not about counting the minutes. It's about making the minutes of your practice time count. Have a great month, and we'll see you next time.